大家好，我是常老师。Last time we talked about this topic, improving AP Chinese skills by practicing free response questions, part 1. And today we're going to do the part 2. And agenda actually just 2 parts, review and improve your language skills by working on cultural presentation. The first part review, we're gonna go over on this importance of free response questions. You must think, oh, I already know that. That's great if you already know. But I just want to emphasize so you know, I want you to know. I want to, keep drilling you, see those importance, the meaning, and how to get it to do best on your free response questions and exactly now how much points or percentage you are earning by doing what. So again, this is the importance for the free response questions in your AP Chinese exam. And again, I want to say story narration, 15%, cultural presentation, 15%, email response and conversation, 10 and 10%. So please keep this in mind, meaning you need to do all those works. You need to answer all those 4 kinds of free response questions. The meaning of these questions or the reason they want to test you on those free response questions is they want to evaluate your Chinese language skills and cultural competencies. In terms of interpretive skills, they want to know how you identify main ideas, details, audience, purpose, and point of view. They also want to know how you infer implied meanings through context, how you connect the text to the target culture. In terms of personal skills, they want to know how you participate in oral and written exchanges, how you understand your interlocutor and elaborate answers, how you write correspondence using the appropriate style. And about the presentational skills, they want to know how you can narrate a story to demonstrate your clear progression of ideas using appropriate transitional expressions, how you create a short written and oral presentation discussing an aspect of Chinese culture. So those are the meanings. We talked about this before. And about the tips, number 1 is do not skip. Because skip one question, you're losing 15 or 10%. That's a big loss, big loss. So never skip, do everything. Number 2 is you need to know how much points percentage out of a 4 score you can earn and by doing what. When you do it, at least you're earning 1 point. When you have keywords and main ideas, the worst, you have 2 points score or 5%, earn 5% out of 100, which is great. And if you can demonstrate a well-organized structure with a beginning, a main part, and an end, you're earning at least 3 points out of 6 or 10% out of 15%. If you provide accurate and necessary details, you're gonna earn at least 4 points based on those, and then you have those accurate and necessary details, you're going to earn at least 4 points, which in total of 11%. And if you have correct Chinese grammar, smooth translation, and appropriate idioms and or proverbs, you're going to earn 5 to 6 points, which is 14 to 15%. So you need to understand how you are earning your score on those free response questions. This is not just for the AP Chinese exam, but also not just for the free response questions, even for the multiple choice questions, you can also improve your language skills through cultural presentation. And then last time we talked about improving your language skills through story narration. We talk about how you could benefit from working on the story narration, and even how to use the story narration to improve your reading and speaking skills. We use this set of pictures as an example, and I instructed you to identify the characters, the age, the jobs, the relationship, and the scenes, analyze the scenes, and how you can earn high score on your story narration, and even practice how you can, improve your reading and speaking skills. And today, we're going to talk about the cultural presentation, because both story narration and cultural presentation, you are earning 15% out of 100%. So that's the reason today we're going to talk about cultural presentation. The reason you want to do this part, because cultural presentation covers all the topics that College Board included in AP Chinese exam. This will lead you to use Chinese to dive deeper on important topics. It also helps you to develop your critical thinking skills in Chinese, because cultural presentation, it's not like a story narration. You just tell your story. You also need to have some analyze and to show your opinions, in Chinese, to show how you think, organize your think. And it is a great path for you to improve your Chinese writing, reading, speaking, and listening skills. It is a great part. If you want to go to details about how to work on cultural presentation, you should go to our previous lesson. In Canvas, we have a 7.3, and you can go there, 7.3, and you can check. I have another video lecture to talk about cultural presentation. What today we're going to cover is first, how you prepare. You're going to say, okay, cultural presentation, I still don't know what they're going to ask me. So this is what they possibly going to ask you. They're going to say, choose one Chinese something to present. And then we have here, I select this 18 topics. And those 18 topics, you don't have to know all of them a lot. However, you need to know one of those topics. For example, choose one Chinese movie. Doesn't mean you really necessarily to watch many movies and choose one movie. You can just study one movie. Choose one Chinese city to present. Doesn't mean you're gonna really know a lot of Chinese cities and then remember all of them and choose when to present. No, you don't. You just need to know, one city, one Chinese city. However, this doesn't mean I'm not saying you don't go to learn the other cities, just choose one city to learn. What I mean is you choose one city and dive deep to learn this city clearly, and you become the expert of this city. You become like a teacher to teach somebody, say, I know this city and this is my city. I can tell you what's about this city. One Chinese invention, because you must have heard about 4 Asian inventions. You don't have to know everything, just choose one of them. One traditional Chinese celebration, because in China, a lot of traditional celebrations, you're going to just choose one. One legend or myth related to Chinese, to one of those Chinese celebration. This is the questions they ask you. Choose one myth or legend related to one of those Chinese traditional celebrations and present. So you don't have to know so many, just one. And this one story, you are an expert. One food, one dish, or one food related to one of those Chinese traditional celebrations, just choose one. One dish or one cuisine. This question they really asked. Which year they did have this question. So choose one Chinese cuisine and present. And then, if you learn, you already know Chinese 八大菜系. There are many cuisines. You choose the most famous, probably 川菜, Sichuan style, Sichuan cuisine. One Chinese historical sites. One kind of Chinese clothes or dress. Most popular style, you would say, probably 旗袍 for women. One Chinese famous figure. Choose the one like you would like to know. Confucius is a very good choice, no, because his philosophy and his thoughts made a big impact on Chinese history. However, you can choose somebody else. And one Chinese drinking obviously is tea. But you learn the tea culture, tea has a lot of different kinds. You can also talk about the tea, about Hong Cha or Lü Cha, or just simply Cha. One Chinese book. Why we have this one? Because 中国有4大名著, 4 famous novels, and you don't have to know all of them, just need to know one. One Chinese art, Chinese painting or another art crafts, you choose one to present. One Chinese song. This possibly they don't ask, but if you like music, you at least know one. I remember one of our students used to mention that he likes somebody's singing. And then you can say, oh, I can talk about this song. Then you need to know who sang this song and what this song is about. And the main idea is something what you learned, you can talk about that. One Chinese poem. This is also possibly they don't ask. This too, maybe I should put those at the end, because those are not possibly, but I would like you to learn this part. When Chinese unique plants, flower or something, an example is peony. Peony is defined as Chinese national flower. You can talk about that. When Chinese unique animal, you must think about panda, right? So you don't have to know dragon. You can do dragon in case you want to do. It's a fictional character, though, but you can still talk about that. One traditional custom, for example, like on the wedding, people like to dress red, and then you talk about this. So everything, those are the topics possibly be covered, possibly appear in your AP Chinese exam. However, you are not necessarily to know so many and really choose one. Instead, you just focus on one of those topics, and to make yourself as an expert on this one topic, and then you practice. At the same time, after you learn this part, you do the presentation, and then when you see the readings or the listenings, when you hear something, keywords on those, you definitely know, right? You can guess what they're talking about. So this is how you improve your language skills through your cultural presentations. Here is an example. Choose a Chinese clothing style and present. When you see this question, you must think about what are Chinese clothing style. They do have a lot, like Tang Zhuang means the clothes from Tang Dynasty. Han Fu, which means the clothes from the Han Dynasty. Nowadays, in modern qipao, Zhongshan and qipao. Zhongshan, most of you probably don't know, but qipao, you should know. So you define what is typical Chinese clothing styles. You choose one. And then, like in the lesson, I talked about how you do the cultural presentation. You need to have a beginning. You need to have a main part. Main part should include 2 to 3 parts. And then you need to have an end. So we talk about 旗袍. The beginning, you're going to say, 今天我来给大家谈谈旗袍. And then you're going to start to present it. 旗袍是中国和世界华人女性的传统服装，被誉为中国国粹和女性国服。It's called like a Chinese special or national dressing. And then you're going to talk about when this dress was developed. After 1950, you can put a 1950. 旗袍在中国大陆渐渐被冷落 because here has a lot of those politics background. If you feel it's too much, too hard, you don't have to mention that. You just say after 1950s, 旗袍 was like ignored, and people don't even mention about that. You don't have to dive too much, say the reason they said. 但是1980年代之后，随着传统文化在内地被重新重视，以及影视文化、时装表演、选美等带来的影响，旗袍不仅逐渐在大陆地区复兴，也逐渐在世界各地时尚起来。So after 1980, and traditional culture started being, is seen as important, and also in the movies, video, TV shows, and fashion shows, and some they have like a beauty competition, those kind of events. Those also promoted and promote the development of qipao. Therefore, qipao not only started to be fashion, and also kind of like be fashionable in the all over the world. 1984,旗袍被国务院指定为女性外交人员的礼服。So in 1984, 旗袍 was designed as the people, they are working with the foreigners as like official dressing. After that, 旗袍款式 the styles 几经变化 means it changed. After those changes, it's already totally different from the old style of Chinese traditional dressing. It changed the traditional, because in traditional Chinese dressing, women are like they covered everything. However, qipao shows some like openly, and then it started to have many changes. 充分展示出女性体态和曲线美 They do want to show women's body and the beauty. 现如今旗袍的样式很多，在长短 the size, the long or short, 长短、衣襟的位置、领口的高低、开叉高低等方面变化丰富，既保持了传统韵味，同时又能体现时尚之美。So, to here, we already talk about how it was developed, what it is. This one, what it is, a concept, when and how it was developed, and then the change, the ignored time, and how it came back and started being fashion, and even became the official dressing, was defined as official dressing, whoever work with foreigners, because it represents Chinese tradition. And then it talk about the style change. What's the difference from the 中国老式样, from the old fashion? The reason is how it shows a woman's body and beauty. And nowadays, what kind of difference between all different kinds of styles, the size, and then about the 衣襟的位置, the opening sides, and then the colors high or low, and then the openings here by the leg, the low or high. Those changes, and talked about this, and give a little bit like a comment. So this is your main part. After this, you're going to connect it to your own life as an ending. If you're a girl, you can say, 等我参加了工作，我想为自己也买几件旗袍穿。我想自己穿上旗袍一定很美。This, you see, you connect it to your own life and sounds like a girl. If you're a boy, you can say, 等我参加了工作，我想为妈妈也买几件旗袍穿。我想她穿上旗袍一定很美。You connect it to your own, yourself and your family. So it sounds nice. So this is your, how you're going to talk about this. But when you practice, I prefer you spend some time, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, to write down all these contents and carefully, organize your writing. So this is good to help you to write. And later on, when we talk about the email response. This is very helpful. It's very helpful for your writing. And also, when you can write this good, and then when you present, when you talk, your mind is organized, and also you have this written characters here, and then you can start just present. And again, when you practice your speaking, please don't do this. You're gonna copy this and go to somewhere to transfer it into pinyin. You can't do this when you really don't know as a part of a step. Let's use this style. However, you can say, okay, 旗袍 you already know. For example, 国粹 you don't know. 国粹 you don't know. You can just copy these two characters and then find 国粹. Find 国粹. 女性国服 like this. When you practice your speaking, please, no pinyin. No pinyin. Delete your pinyin and just read the characters. This way helps you definitely improve your sensitivity of how you read Chinese characters. You know, you can feel like easier. For example, I believe when you say 中国华人女性 and for example 世纪年代是 those are very familiar characters, right? Only the part you don't know, you can check and to make your own like vocabulary. You save those vocabulary, you read it, and then when you come back, you are able to read this. This is how you practice your reading and even writing, because when you type an email, you need to do the pinyin. When you do the pinyin, you do need to choose. For example, I need to type 旗袍. Oh, sorry. 旗袍. You see, when you type 旗袍, it shows so many. You need to be able to identify which word is the one you want. Okay, so you're gonna put a one. Pinyin is a tool for you to know how to pronounce each character. After you know how to pronounce this character, please move it away and read the characters. So this is today's lesson, and how you can improve your Chinese language skills by working on cultural presentation. And your work is choose a type of Chinese art or an art craft to present. Last week, I have a lesson about the 中国书法. I believe you already know this one. However, you can choose 中国画 or 中国瓷器. It's up to you. And even something else, as long as it matches a type of Chinese art or an art craft. It's up to you. So you choose one of those and present. So that's all for today. 再见。